I grew up in a family where there was crime surrounding us all the time, and my parents were in and out of prison. And as I grew older, I decided that's a route that I didn't want to take. So I wanted to learn the law and apply it rather than abuse it, I guess. So that's when I was 16 and I got into a job in the legal industry that way. My main achievement so far is being nominated for this award, because I feel like I've finally been recognised that I can achieve something.
I've always been really interested in social justice and social change, and for me, I've always seen the law as the most effective means of achieving those goals.
I can't really remember a time when I didn't want to pursue a legal job. However, as I got older and I started looking around and realising that access to justice was moving towards more of a means-tested system, I realised it was something I was really passionate about. I suppose I've always been drawn to strong, reasoned arguments and pragmatic approach, and looking at documents, sourcing information. I suppose I also watched an awful lot of Perry Mason growing up as well.
From a young age, I always wanted to work in law. I wanted to work in a client-facing industry, and I wanted to be able to give a voice to people who might not otherwise have one. Our society is underpinned by our laws, which can be a little bit ambiguous, and so people need someone there, if they don't know the law, who's able to represent them in their interests.
The best piece of advice I've received whilst working is most probably that you shouldn't forget the passion that got you there in the first place. It's so easy to get bogged down with the minutiae of the day-to-day and the general panics that I assume a lot of people have working in this field. But ultimately you have to remember why you're here, and the job that you're doing for people, that's the rewarding element of the job, and that's what you need to remember.
So on the first day of my current job, my brilliant supervisor told me that we all make mistakes every single day and that it doesn't matter. What matters is what you do next, to confront problems head on and not be afraid.
I think mine has been to research everything. So when I moved over into civil litigation, it's a very varied area of law, I guess. You have to know a bit of everything. So the advice I was given was to research everything, question, analyse everything, so that I can be confident in the advice that I give to clients, that I know what I'm talking about.
I work in litigation, so anything can happen at any time. So I think the best piece of advice I've ever had is that no problem can't be resolved. So if you go to your superiors and ask for assistance, and if you have to, then sometimes you pull together as a team to get the best outcome for your client. So
I left school at 17 with partially completed AS levels, and I think I felt certainly that I was written off by a lot of people at that point, and because I'd always wanted a career in the law, I realised I was going to have to take a less conventional approach to getting qualified. So I am really proud of the fact that I started at Thompsons at 18 as a part-time receptionist. And I've worked my way up to where I am now, which is a full-time multi-track case handler.
For me, I'm studying online, and when you're studying online and not in a school, you do feel a little disconnected, and maybe you don't feel like your hard work is being recognised. So to be nominated for an award for learning is it's kind of validation for all the hard work.
Well, I got very emotional when I was called because it's been amazing that somebody has recognised everything that I put into my everyday life, and to feel like somebody's proud, I guess.
Amazing. Okay, lovely. That is all of our questions for
I'd love to continue to be a lawyer and forge relationships with other experts in the field, perhaps use CILEx as a stepping stone to go on to do other things, like maybe become a judge one day. The possibilities are endless.